So we know in the 5th month, we have an extra $3,000 that we saved for without having to cut into our lifestyle, without having to scrimp and budget and worry about our expenses. By paying ourselves first, okay, we have built up an extra 3K. The timing of this is irrelevant. It may take you longer, it may not take you longer. These numbers may be accurate, they may not be accurate. It doesn't matter. Just focus on the concept of what's happening, and then we can plug your numbers in to make it work for you, okay? So I believe with this concept that I'm going to explain to you that if you start doing this with every single dollar that you make, your path to financial freedom is going to be so much easier and so much quicker. All right, so let's get a lay of the land here. Here's typically what's happening. All right, you're working for XYZ company and they decide that they're going to pay you your salary, whatever that is. If it's salary, commission, bonus, a blend of the two, it doesn't matter. Okay, here comes your income. You think you're getting paid first because it's at the top, right? 99.9% of everybody that I talk to has a checking account, and the money, your income, goes directly into the checking account, and then you're going to start paying your bills outside of that, right? But here's what you don't understand, or maybe you haven't thought of it this way before, is you're actually you're third in line to actually get your money. And what I mean by that is, first, you have the business that you work for. Yes, you worked and you generated the money that allowed the business to make the money, but it goes to their account first, right? So the business you work for gets paid. Now they're going to send you the check. But first, what happens? Second thing, taxes come out, right? So before you even get your money, you are third in line. But from the viewpoint of the business, you're first in line. So what you want to do is make the mindset shift and start treating your money as if it was a business, okay? And we're going to continue this concept, but that's basically what's happening. Really easy, simple concept is you want to start treating your money as if it was a business, and you want to start getting paid first on it. Now, with that said, obviously we can't control what happens before the money lands in your account, okay? But if you're like 99% of all, Americans, and you're really good, right? If you're like 99%, you got a checking account. If you're, better than average, then you also have a savings account, all right? So what's happening, right? All this money comes into this bucket, okay? And then these are holes in the bucket, right? What are these holes? Well, duh, you got to pay the mortgage, you've got your vehicles, you've got insurance, you've got your kids, whatever the heck they're into at that moment, and then you've got some crazy life event that you didn't know was going to happen that popped up, right? So it's just kind of like, like the old, I always laugh at those commercials, the Flex Seal commercials, where they're always just slapping the tape on the hole. Well, basically that's what you're doing, right? You pay the mortgage, you fill it in. You pay the car, your car loans, blah, blah, blah. You fill all that in, and you stop the flow from coming out to where it fills up, okay? If you have anything left over at the end of the month, again, if you're good, you're putting it over here into your savings, and you're letting that savings build up. But now think about this, because this goes back to that original concept of paying yourself first, just like a business would. Your savings are here to do what for you? Make you more money, right? Because off of this, let's just say you had a Roth. Maybe that was the way that you're saving your money. Or you have another version over here and you're putting it into real estate. Okay, whatever that case may be. But how much traction and how fast are you going to get going if you only pay yourself what's left over? That's not what the business does, right? The business pays themselves first, okay? Hopefully this is starting to make sense. Is you want your savings to start generating you future income, but yet you're putting so little into it that a lot of times what happens is this life event that we talked about was maybe 5K, right? Like more expensive than you thought it was going to be. What do? Well, now you start taking money back out to plug this hole again. Okay, so this is the baseline. This is what most people are doing. But after this video, hopefully you're going to be a little bit smarter, and we're going to start treating ourselves like an actual business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase all of this, and we're going to start over on the way that it should be done. Okay, so here's how this works, and here's how this concept really pulls everything together. We're gonna call this a reservoir account, okay? It's one extra step between your checking account and your income, all right? We're gonna add one extra step. And we call it a reservoir because what does a reservoir do? It holds things, right? In this case, liquid. In this case, it's gonna hold our money, okay? So we're gonna have this reservoir account. And the income is gonna go directly into this reservoir account. And what's cool is you're gonna set whatever level you want this to be at. So let's just say that you're comfortable with $12,000 at any given time to be inside this reservoir account, okay? Now, in this example, I'm gonna say that husband and wife or spouse or partner, whatever, together, you guys make 10K on a monthly basis, all right? So every month, we've got $10,000 dropping into this reservoir, all right? Now, how does this work? Well, it's really simple. You're going to pay yourself first from your reservoir account over into your checking account. Because the checking account, remember, is the one that has all the holes in it, right? Those are the ones that we need to fill up. With me so far? Okay, so how much do you pay yourself? You're basically going to give yourself a salary on a monthly basis based off of this. Remember, the whole idea is you're paying yourself first, and I'll bring all this back around and you'll see how this is so powerful. Okay, so here's what we know. We've got a reservoir account that's in between our checking account that our money goes directly into, and we've set this level that we want it to be at $12,000, all right? So then the next question is, well, how much do I pay myself? How much do I send over to my checking account? And I would call that your burn rate, okay? And I'm gonna give you a little formula that's really, really simple. The burn rate is equal to your expenses, right? Remember, you've got the mortgage, the vehicles, the insurance, the kids, the life events, okay? Your expenses, and we'll just make it E to make it simple. Expenses plus, and this is where I differ from a lot of different people, your, we're gonna call it LS, your lifestyle, okay? I am a big fan of adding in the lifestyle to the burn rate, all right? I use the word burn rate because I don't like the word budget because budgets don't typically work, and budget to me tells me I have to give something up, and here's the reality. The lifestyle that you live, that I may live or whatever, is, you know what, maybe I absolutely love Starbucks in the morning. Maybe I'm an avid golfer and I have a golf membership that's $2,000 a year, whatever the case may be. If you're on a budget, you would say, oh, no, yeah, that $4, $5, $6 coffee is too much. Or, oh man, I love golf, but I really just gotta stop doing that. I gotta go to a cheaper course. Okay, to me, that's not the whole point. The whole point in getting up and working and making this money is so that you can enjoy the things that you actually like, okay? So that's why I build in lifestyle into the expenses. So really simple formula. Your burn rate is equal to your expenses plus your lifestyle, okay? If it's going out to the movies, if it's 4 nights a week, having dinner out, whatever that looks like for you and your family, I'm 100% on board with you doing that, okay? So the burn rate. So in this example, let's just say all of this together, all of your expenses plus your lifestyle was $7,000, all right? So what that means is we're gonna pay ourselves first. We're gonna pay ourselves 10K, we're gonna salary over with our burn rate of 7K. And we know that it's gonna take care of everything that we need. Well, what's happening over here? Inside of our reservoir account, month 1, we got an extra 3,000, right? And we keep doing that every month. You have an extra $3,000, 3, 6, 9, 12. So it took 4 months. Now we have $12,000. So on the 5th month, right? This reservoir account is full of money. We got the full 12K. Now money's falling out of it, okay? So we know in the 5th month, we have an extra $3,000 that we saved for without having to cut into our lifestyle, without having to scrimp and budget and worry about our expenses. By paying ourselves first, okay, we have built up an extra 3K. The timing of this is irrelevant. It may take you longer, it may not take you longer. These numbers may be accurate, they may not be accurate. It doesn't matter. Just focus on the concept of what's happening, and then we can plug your numbers in to make it work for you, okay? So now in the 5th month, you have this extra $3K that's happening, all right? So then what? Well, this is really, really simple. Off of this or off of this, you're gonna have another reservoir account. So kind of in that previous example, let's say that that was a Roth, okay? And again, we're not gonna get into the weeds and the details of how all this works, but let's just say you have a Roth, someone told you it was a good idea to get one, so you got one. And now in month 1, you put $3,000 into it, right? So you filled it up. Well, guess what? If that Roth account, let's just say, is kicking off 6% in interest that it's earning you, what do? Well, we're treating this like a business. We're paying ourselves first. My only source of income right now is my salary or the check that I'm getting from the company. Then we take this Roth account, and what we're making off of it over here, we then start kicking that back into the reservoir. So now the reservoir is going to fill up even faster, and it's going to get back up to the 12 or overflow on the 12 more so, because now we have this building in. Let's say you max that part out, and then you really wanted to focus on getting a down payment put together to buy a rental, a landlord, right, home. Okay, so this bucket's going to fill up faster because we have the 3K plus whatever this is kicking off. It fills up, right? The money comes into here. We fill it up. Now we got 15, 20 grand into there, whatever that looks like. And I don't know what real estate kicks off, but let's say you're making 3% off of that, off of your monthly rent that you're doing, or whatever that looks like, 1 to 3%. I don't know. Again, concept, okay? Progress, not perfection here. Now you've got that kicking off money. And so now you have real estate, right? And it's dropping it into this bucket. So this bucket, maybe we raise this, maybe we lower this number, but you can have infinite amount of reservoirs. But the idea is you now have passive income, 2 sources of passive income in relation to your main income, filling up this reservoir account. We're gonna stop the bleeding over here. We're gonna pay ourselves first and use the money, right, because we paid ourselves first, to then fund other sources of passive income. So if you can understand that concept of your burn rate is equal to your expenses plus your lifestyle, because I'm not a fan, remember, of stripping everything down and budgeting. You can understand the concept of paying yourself first. Look at how much faster that your savings account, right? Because these are just forms of savings, okay? Look at how much faster you're going to start building wealth by putting in yourself first before the traditional method of your income going into your checkings. It's getting bled out, and then you're only saving what you can and what you have left. I mean, Warren Buffett even talks about paying yourself first, right? So this isn't a concept that is new, but it can be somewhat confusing on how to set this up, all right? And there's different ways to set this up, but again, here's the concept that's going to help you out. So we're going to plug all of this. We're only going to put into our checking what it needs. Because I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but it doesn't matter if this thing is plumb full, right? We have a great month and you get a bonus. And bam, 10K hits your checking account. Well, if you graph that out over time, right? Here's your checking account. It goes up. Guess what? That's your checking account. For some reason, we always find a way to match with expenses. There's always another hole that seems to pop out when you didn't expect it, or maybe you did plan for it, is somewhat irrelevant, but those holes pop in and we always find a way to make that a reality. And what we want to try to start doing is that you want your savings account to be going up, but your expenses, this, right, after you paid yourself first, it stays down here. So this difference, right, this gap is the wealth that you're building inside of it. So again, simple concept, pay yourself first and watch your money exponentially grow. If you have any questions on this, if you want to run some real numbers on yourself, there'll be a link somewhere where you can book a session on my calendar or shoot me a message direct. Happy to help you with whatever I can. But I hope you found that useful, and let me know.